Recording. There we go. Okay, we're recording now. So welcome to our training. This is a lunch and learn, which means we wanted to make sure that we set our boundaries with our time and did not spend too much of our evenings working. So we are doing this while our kids are at school today. And hopefully some of you are on your lunch hours and able to just take some time with us today to learn a little bit about BRAD. BRAD is an acronym that we're going to share with you. I've got Hayley DeJock here, Diamond Ambassador on my team. Love, love, love her. Say hi, Hayley.
Hi, super excited to be here and to talk about this.
So what's fun is Hayley's husband, Al, and I went to high school together. So that's how we know each other. You never know who's going to call you about Plexus and ask about it and join your team. And so you just need to make sure that you're sharing with everybody. And, you know, all those people that you're like, well, I don't really remember them from high school. I don't really know them. You should friend them. Make sure that you know that they're your friend on Facebook. Okay, so real quick, so Carrie Wilkerson, y'all, she's amazing. She's going to be the speaker at Leaders Retreat. How many of you are going to Leaders Retreat? Raise your hand. I want to see some hands up. And I've got so many of you that are like, probably not out of your pajamas yet, so you've got your little name sign up instead. I get it. I get it. It's all right. You know what? I am work up top, yoga pants on bottom. So it's okay. So Carrie Wilkerson, she's a hoot. She's got 4 kids. She's from Texas. She's my age, so I instantly connected with her. And she gave us some good tips. So
yeah. And guys, she's my style leadership. She has tough love and blunt and to the point, but she's hilarious, which I wish I had that talent to throw that wit into it. But she's very to the point. She doesn't beat around the bush, and I loved that. So
she had us laughing first, though. She reeled us in, and then she hit us over the head, right?
Yeah.
She did. So there might be some aha moments for you, because there were for us. And to be in a room with, 500 plus people, because there were some guests in there as well. And to have so many people writing as fast as they could, typing their notes up as fast as they could. These are leaders of the company, y'all, taking notes super fast, trying to get all the information down, because we are constantly learning. You never, ever stop learning and growing in this business. So there are definitely some eye-opening things. Just wanted to remind you that BRAD is Carrie's intellectual property. We didn't come up with this, although we did add the S's to the end to make it BRADSS. That's us, and we will get to that in just a minute. But the BRAD is definitely hers. So first, let's start off with the B. We're going to get right to the meat of this, because we want to keep it short and sweet, because some of you are on your lunch breaks. And what we're going to do is I'll start with the B, and then Hayley will chime in on some of the points that, because we both took different notes, and we didn't really compare our notes. So we're just going to go off of our notes here, share our hearts with you, and then she'll start with R, and then I'll chime in. So we're going to just kind of do this together. So on B, have a big blank piece of paper, and you're going to write boundaries. And this is something that I had none of when I first started. And so learning backwards because I grew so fast is something that I'm not the only one that's had to do, but I'm learning. But I love this because one of the things that she said with boundaries is, or before she even talked about boundaries, was about being in alignment with everything. And if you are out of alignment, then it's going to show up in all areas of your life. You need to be in alignment with everything that you do. And that means, let's just talk, if you're in alignment with, if you're talking about weight loss and you're, eating cheeseburgers every day. If you're stressed to the max and you have no free time, then how can you share Plexus freedom with people? Do you see what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you're in alignment in all areas of your life. Okay, boundaries. Your boundaries, you're going to want to have boundaries in 3 areas: with people, with places, and with promises. and you are the median to the 5 closest people to you. So, think about who you're spending time with. If those people are, if they're toxic, if they're threatened by your growth, if they make you sad, mad, drained, or do they make you feel happy and joyful? Do they encourage you? Do they discourage you? So you want to make a list of people that are the closest to you and put a positive or a negative sign next to them. And you want to spend more time with those positives, right? Because you want people that will surround you and make you fill your cup. Your team, you want to make sure that with your team that you have boundaries. If you've got a team member, some of you may have a big team, some of you may have 2 or 3 people on your team, some of you on this call may have no people on your team. So it's kind of hard for us to talk about boundaries with the whole scope of people on this call, but just take to heart what works for you. But with your team, if you've got somebody on your team that's calling you all hours of the night, they're sending you messages, they're expecting you to answer them immediately, and they're driving you crazy, and you're like, oh my gosh, why is this girl calling me all the time? Well, have you set a boundary with her or him? And if you haven't, how do you expect them to know what you expect or what's okay with you, right? So you want to set boundaries, maybe make business hours, or maybe set the expectation of, hey, I'm a busy girl. I work a full-time job. I've got 4 kids. I've got whatever you have going on. And so let them know ahead of time, if I don't get back to you quickly, try to find the answer yourself, and I'll get back with you before the end of the day, or before, whatever it is that will work for you. If it's a couple of hours, if it's 24 hours, you set that guideline, and then you don't have people mad at you, right? Because the expectation is there. So you want to make sure they know that you're not working 24/7, even though most of you know that I'm a night owl. I will answer questions, or I will do things, and it's like, sometimes 1 or 2 in the morning, because that's me. I'm a night owl. I am not a morning person, and that works for me. And sometimes I do my business late, but that's not everybody. And I don't expect answers in the middle of the night. That's not every night, y'all. I'm really, really working on that. I'm really trying to get to bed earlier and do my stuff during the day. But lately, I'm the main caregiver of my mom, and she had surgery, and that's completely messed me up. But anyway, set boundaries with your team. And with actually, before I even go any further, I want to hear what Hayley has to say, because I know she's really good at this part.
Yeah, boundaries have been something that haven't bothered me from day one. I'm really strong at setting my boundaries. I'm really great at redirecting my team. So I really liked when she talked about this. It kind of solidified what I was already doing. And you know how great that feels when you're already on a path and somebody comes and says, it's okay to do those certain things. It's something I like to always share with my team, is that you can say no, right? You're an adult and you can say no, but you don't have to give an excuse. In fact, if you're on my team, you know that I believe there's no such thing as an excuse. It's called priorities. And you're prioritizing something over something else. So it's not your excuse, it's your higher priority. So if you say, I can't be on the Zoom call because I'm meeting with a potential, then that potential to you is a higher priority than the Zoom call. And your priorities are not always as everybody thinks they should be, but they're your priorities. If your priority is to be at your kids' soccer practice over being on a Zoom call, that's your personal priority. You don't have to say, I can't be on a Zoom call because my child has practice. And my team knows, if they can't be at something, to just say, no, I'm sorry, I can't be there. I don't need to hear why they can't be there, because it's their priority. And I don't fault them for whatever they choose. But it depends on how far and how fast you want your business to go as to what priorities you choose. And we'll talk a little bit later about how to designate which priorities and what you may have to sacrifice in order to make things happen for you. But I like what Alicia said. What Carrie brought up was spending time with those people that are not toxic, guys. This is so very important. And it's really sad, because a lot of times in this business, we recruit our BFFs, right? Or our favorite people, the people we already hang out with. And they're not always the same business mind that we are. So sometimes you have to bless and release those people from certain aspects and areas of your life. You have to hang out with those people, even if you don't have a team. Find some sidelines, find your uplines, spend time with those people that are where you want to be. not with the people who are necessarily where you are or where you came from. So often I'll see people that want to be successful in this business, and they're hanging out with people who who are content with where they are. And there's nothing wrong with being content where you are in your business. But if you're hanging out with people who are content, they're going to do things to make themselves content. And that doesn't take a whole lot if they're already there. So hang out with the people that are going to lift you up and are where you want to be, and to learn and grow from them and allow them to be your mentors if you truly want this. But I loved when Carrie talked about all of these things and the boundaries, and that you decide this is your life and your business, and you decide how fast you want it to go and how far you want it to go, and you set your own boundaries. But it's so very important to set boundaries and to do them early in your business, because if you do them early, which is harder to do when you have a team of 6 people. I know when I had 6 people on my team, y'all, I thought I had made it. I thought, I have 6 people that want to do this with me. I can't believe it. I never thought it would get any bigger than that. And I was there for everybody all the time. But when you have 6,000 or 16,000 and everybody wants a piece of you, it's really hard. And you have to be there for your runners and for your level 1. So you have to learn those boundaries early on. So it's good to start implementing your boundaries slowly but surely through your business.
I love that she said no is a complete sentence. That was great. No is a complete sentence. And then, where do you work? Do you have do you have an office at your house? Where's your boundaries at work? Where can you concentrate and set up your boundaries? Where, maybe it's a coffee shop. Maybe it's better for you to be, not be distracted, to head to the coffee shop after you drop off kids at school and have a power hour for an hour or 2 by yourself and really work and dive into your business and get things done. If you can take control of your business, it will help you with your goals and it will help you with your schedule. She said to stop shoulding all over your place. I should have done this. I should have done that. Stop shoulding all over your place. Instead, make your boundaries and set your goals and set yourself up for success. Also, you know what? Busy people are the most successful people. And so I don't know about y'all, but I get asked to head or chair or lead things all the time. And I have a senior this year, and, in running this business and all these priorities that I have. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to say no to more things this year because my focus needs to be on my daughter who's going off to college next year, right? So it is hard for me because I'm the one that's like, yes, let's do this. Yes, let's do that. Let's come over to my house. I'll lead that up. I'll head that up. I'm learning, and I'm not saying yes to everything. I am saying no and saying, you know what, that's when I work, so I can't do that. That's when my work hours, that's when I have meetings or scheduled or whatever. So definitely, set your boundaries. You can say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. But when you make a promise, you need to fulfill it. So if you have said yes to something, then you need to fulfill your promises, because people are learning about you and getting to know you. It also sets, the stage for, do I want to join her team? Does she keep her promises? Does she do what she says she's going to do? That kind of thing. So are you an executive? Do you work from home? Yes, we're executives. If you treat your business like you're an executive, you're an executive. And you have an executive mindset. So she also talked about your family being shareholders in your business. So she even asked us to have a shareholder meeting, to get with our kids and our spouse and have a shareholder meeting and talk about, boundaries and your business and what your goals are for the business. And I remember just a couple of months after I started, and I was so proud of myself because I had earned enough money myself as a stay-at-home mom to pay for a vacation for all 6 of us to go to SeaWorld. And we were at the Children's Museum in San Antonio at the time. And I remember my girls were, they were doing something, and I was so excited because I had that month I recruited 16 people. The month that I took my family on vacation, I had 16 level 1s join my team. I was crazy, insane busy. I was getting messages after messages after messages. But when we were doing so, I was putting my phone away. But then when my kids were busy doing something, I had it out, and I was, responding and doing all this stuff. And one of my girls came up to me, and this is, because it was still new. It was still a new business to us. And she said, Mom, will you quit playing on your phone? Because that's what the kids do, right? They play on their phone. And I said, no, I said, Campbell, Mommy's working. That's how Mommy paid for this trip for us. This is my business, this is my job. I'm working. And she looked at me like, okay, turned around and ran off. But, we have to set the stage with our kids even. Hey, guess what? Mommy is working, and I am earning enough money for us to do X, Y, Z. This is our plan for our family. And as a shareholder of our family, wouldn't that be fun? Don't you want to help us get there and achieve our goals? And I'm like, oh, okay. So
yeah, one of the things she talked about was to sit your family down and say to your kids, like, what does success mean to you? If you had a successful business, no matter if they're 6 or 16 or whatever, what would you like to do with some money that you earned? So give your kids the opportunity. And, I just spoke about this on one of my team calls. If your 6-year-old says, success to me is going to Disney World, then you can say, you know what, when Mommy reaches or Daddy reaches the rank of Emerald, I promise you a trip to Disney World. Then your kids are invested more in your business, right? Because they kind of know they're going to get something out of this. So when you say, Mommy needs to work or Mommy's not going to be at soccer practice, it may be easier for a 6-year-old to understand. And you say, remember, because Mommy's working for that Disney World trip, we're going to be there. And our goal is February of 2017. So we have to work hard now. And that kind of helps pull them into your business. Like Alicia, my girls didn't know I was working for like the first 3 or 4 months. And all of a sudden, Mom was sitting at the computer more, or I was on my phone more. And they would come and try to talk to me sometimes, or ask for help with homework. And I'd be like, okay, give me just 5 minutes to proofread this, and then I'll be right in there. And finally, I realized I need to involve them somehow. So I set the whole family down like she did and said, this is what Mommy's doing, and this is what we're working for, and I now have a business. I will be here for you, it's same as your practices when Daddy deploys, when you're home from school. Nothing is going to change as far as our schedule, but there may be times when I need a few minutes to do some work. So once you involve them and make them feel part of the equation, it really makes your life so much easier. And do this with your spouse also.
You ready to go to R?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. Start us off.
R are routines and rituals, guys, and this is something I'm passionate about too. I read the book, The Power of Habit, and I don't recommend it unless you are very far along in your leadership, because it is neither MLM nor really personal growth, but it explains why people do the things they do and why you have the habits that you have. And I am extremely passionate about having your DMO and your IPAs every single day and doing them. And by every single day, I mean Monday through Friday. I do work 7 days a week, but on the weekends, I work very, very lightly, and I spend that time with my family because they are home. I am able to do that. I will say in the beginning, I probably worked hard 7 days a week and didn't spend as much time with them, but I was on a mission and I was taking advantage of the full momentum that we had. So I want to make sure if you guys don't have a DMO or an IPA, you need to have that. You need to know every single day what you're going to do. In fact, I recommend that you put it in writing the night before and read it before you go to bed. This is something I did before Plexus, and I read up on it and studied on it later on and said when you read your to-do list for the next day the night before, your mind subconsciously starts working toward fulfilling those events. So while you're sleeping, your body is making your to-do list happen somehow, right? I don't know. I'm not scientific that way. But I read that, and ever since then, I'm like, oh, aha. So I make my to-do list right before I go to bed. I keep a pen and paper. I'm still old school pen and paper. I do sometimes put it on my phone. Next to my bed, write down what I want to get accomplished the next day. It doesn't always get done, but that is my routine and ritual for the night before so that I know what I need to focus on. And that way when I get up in the morning, I don't have to think, or I don't get along in the afternoon and think, what do I need to do today? You need to make those decisions ahead of time and early on. It's so much easier when you have some time. Now, I have my quiet time. I'm not a morning person. I have my quiet time to think about my next day after my kids are in bed. And I go up to my room about 30 minutes or an hour before I go to bed, and I sit and I plan my day and I think about everything. And Carrie recommended that you get up before the kids. Like I said, I'm not a morning person, so I am not productive in the morning. But if you are and are able to do that, I highly recommend it. You know, I do wake up before them, and I do spend some quiet moments and meditate and think about my day and plan ahead. But if you can get up at least 30 minutes before your kids and, you know, have your time and have that calm come over you, and then go from there. And this will help you take control of your day. And you know, when you're processing your day, when you're doing what you need to do each and every day, if you have set business hours, you know, my thing is I usually sit at my desk, actively sit at my desk and work from 9 to noon each and every day. I don't take phone calls during that time, 99.9% of the time, unless it's my kid's school or my husband, because that interrupts my day. And Carrie spoke about this, and I was like, oh, hallelujah. When you take a phone call from someone that is not an appointment with you, you have allowed that person to dictate your day. Think about it. If you're working your business, if you are actively doing your IPAs, you're following up, you're posting, you're connecting with your team members, and the phone rings, and you pick it up and talk to somebody, then that person has decided what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be talking about, and how long you're going to spend away from your work. So it's okay to not take a phone call from somebody. It's okay to not allow those distractions in at certain times during your day. Those are your boundaries, which then roll into your routines and your rituals. But make sure, you know, that you have a set routine and ritual. If you only work an hour a day, that's fine. Work with an executive mindset, something that she said, and I loved that, because like Alicia said, busy people in this business do the best. And why is that? Because they have limited time, and they will sit and work hard for 30 minutes or an hour because they know they have limited time and they have certain things to get done. Whereas I have people who have 6 hours a day, and they'll spend 5 hours and 55 minutes scrolling Facebook and then 5 minutes following up with somebody, just because they push it off. So make it important to you to have those routines and rituals, to have your to-do list, to plan out your day, and, you know, write it down. Something that I read is goals and your to-do list and things like that. You know, only 3% of the population actually writes it down. But do you know, once it's written down and your mind and your eyes see this, you have an 80% better chance of achieving it? How crazy is that? So why not take a few minutes out of your day to write it down and be prepared and know what is on your plate? Now, like I said, some days I write down 35 things to do, and I may get 2 done, and then I just roll them over in the next day if they're that important. Some days I have 2 things to get done, and they take all day long. But make your routines and rituals. Do your power hour at the least. And even if you have 6 hours a day, time yourself, because you will get so much more done if you work that executive mindset, if you really, really work hard for that solid hour, and then you can spend the rest of your day doing the other things. And just imagine if you did that every single day, if you worked hard for an hour every single day. You need to make these routines and rituals personal, bearable, memorable, replicable, and non-negotiable. Like I said, if you're doing something and somebody rings your doorbell and you know it's the neighbor and she's going to come over and talk for an hour, maybe you don't answer the door. Or maybe you go to the door and say, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm right in the middle of a work call or a work event. Can I come over when I get finished? You have to set this, and you have to be non-negotiable in what you set for yourself, and don't allow these distractions in, because we know a lot of the times the distractions are what cause our business to derail. Alicia, you want to add to that?
Yeah, on the personal, bearable, memorable, replicable, non-negotiable, one thing I wrote after that was they can be uncomfortable to be bearable. So, you know, getting up extra early, which is uncomfortable for me and Hayley because we're not morning girls. You know, but it's bearable. We can do it. Another thing that she talked about was 3 before noon. Write down 3 things you are going to accomplish by noon. And you know, sometimes your to-do list it's going to be a lot longer. I mean, we're busy people. I mean, let's get real. We've got a lot of things on our to-do list. But can you find 3 things that you can accomplish before noon to scratch off and feel successful that you got those things done? The other thing was leads before leaders. Some of you have leaders on your team. that you want to get with, and you want to, you know, get with your leaders and your runners, and you want to do stuff with them, and you're gonna, but you know what, you do that all the time, and you turn into management mode, and you forget working and growing your own personal business. So your leads, your prospects, the people that you've been, you know, hitting and building that relationship with and telling about Plexus and, you know, encouraging them, those are more important. You need to get with them first before you get with your leaders. So grow your business first, always. You need to think of your business as a big bathtub full of bath water. You know, the water's coming in if you were getting leads and you were sharing with people, but guess what? That drain is always open. There's always something leaving your business, either a customer that's, you know, decided they can't afford it, or they don't want to do it anymore, whatever. You've got customers you've leaving, you've got ambassadors leaving and changing their mind, whatever. That drain is always going to be open. So you've always got to have your bath water turned on with adding new leads to the funnel, adding new customers, new people that you're sharing with and building those relationships with. Your leads drive your business. So replace and renew the bath water all the time. And we talked about, you talked about power hours, right? Which talked about having a power hour. And then she said, what if we did 4 power hours a week? Would that change your business? I don't want to see everybody's head doing this right now, because it so would. If we sat and just concentrated on our leads and growing our business and working and filling our bathtubs for 1 hour a week, it would change your business. Let's see. You would rather be addicted to your family and your goals. Stay away from things that make you addicted and obsessed. So make sure that your routines are in the right direction. I like that too. Let's see. And then, okay, so she said at the end of the day, we're kind of done making decisions. Our decision-making power is like, we're tired. We have, you know, messed with all this other stuff. So if we can make decisions that are easy by, you know, she even has a uniform that she likes to put on every day. Not stretchy pants, because those, you know, you can gain weight easy with those. But she puts on her jeans, and she gets dressed with a tank or a t-shirt or something that she can easily put on a jacket or something if she wants to go out. She puts her makeup on. She gets, you know, ready and for her day every morning, something easy that she can just do every single day. Same thing with making her with dinner for that night. She makes a decision by 9 a.m. What's for dinner tonight? Who has practice? Are we going to eat out, or am I going to put something in the crock pot, or do I need to thaw something out? By 9 a.m. she has her decision for dinner for that night. I thought, oh my gosh, I mean, dinner is like, I'm like, God, do I really need to feed these people 3 times a day? I mean, I'm fine with, you know, just grabbing a bowl of cereal, but everybody else wants food, so I've got to plan this out. So I like that. I'm like, I really need help with that too. I like that. Let's see. The power hour, the leads. Are your goals non-negotiable? I like that too. So you want to make sure Hayley's is always talking about goals and setting goals, and if you can find your goal, let's just say your goal is to be Emerald by July 31st. That's the deadline to be able to go to Maui next year. You need to work backwards. You know, work backwards so that you can hit that goal. Okay, let's go to A for accountability. So A for accountability, you want to quit mismanaging your responsibility. You want to track your activity. People who track their activity find success, okay? That means, you know, you're looking at your numbers each month. You're tracking, okay, what were my points this month? Where am I trying to get to? What were my points last month? Did I go up? Did I go down? If I went down, I need to figure out what's going on. If I, you know, went up, did I go up enough to achieve my goal? So you're tracking your activity, and you're using that data to decide, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to change? Something that I talk about a lot is, you know, make your plan, work your plan. If the plan's not working, change your plan. So, you know, people who do the same thing over and over and over and expect results, like I'm posting to Facebook every day. Every day I'm posting to Facebook. That's all I'm doing. I'm posting to Facebook. But are you expecting different results? You're doing the same thing every day. That plan's not working. You got to change your plan. You got to do something different, right? And so anyway, if your goal, whatever your goal is, work backwards, track your activity, make sure that it's going towards what you're trying to get to. Your business building activities, your IPAs, your DMOs, what we talked about a while ago, those are important. Your DMOs, your daily method of operation, income producing activities, those are things Work with leads before leaders. Those are things that are going to help you with this. On accountability, I love that we're going to Maui again next year. We're going to Maui. So if you want to go to Maui, and you should, let me tell you, I didn't even think that was a possibility for me. And I was able to do it in 7 months. We have more than 7 months from start to finish, from learning about Plexus, not even know there was a Lexus program or a Hawaii trip. I did it in 7 months. Just to tell you, it can be done, okay? It's not bragging. It's not saying that you can't do it. We have different people in our network. You have a whole complete different network than I do. You can do it if you put your mind to it. So get a Maui mate, grab hands, decide both of you are going, and make a plan to get there, okay? The lack of responsibility starts with you. So it says, you know, she said, we've got to grow into our business. This isn't high school anymore. We're grown-ups now. We've got to set the pace for our team. Things that we track are areas in which we grow, which is pretty much what we just said. You see what you focus on. Are you focusing on new people, people that you need to share with, or the negative Nellies? Who are you focused on? That's a big one, y'all. That can, if you're focused on the negative Nellies, the people in your group that are saying, you know what, there's problems with this, there's problems with that, nobody wants this, nobody's doing this, my business isn't growing, that's not where you want to focus on. You definitely want to focus on people that you can help grow, people that want to grow, people that see the positive in things. Because let me tell you, we've all had, you know, our share of doubt. We've all had our share of, you know, what if, you know, this business, you know, nobody was interested, nobody liked my post, you know, whatever it is, can get you feeling negative. And you've got to start focusing on the positive. And you see what you are focused on. So if you're looking for the negative, that's what you're going to find, right?
Right. And the positive mindset is so important, guys. I mean, there's another passion of mine, but seriously, I had to, when I started Plexus, I was not happy with myself. I was not happy mommy. I was not happy wife. I was as unhealthy as I'd ever been. Nothing in my closet fit. I was tired all the time. The kids came home from school at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. All I wanted to do was crash, and I did not want this chaos coming in my house at that time. I wanted to take a nap, right? So I had to, as Plexus made me feel better and made me a happier, healthier person, I had to remove that negativity, because when you're miserable, you want everybody miserable with you, right? So you bring that negativity in, and you don't want anybody else happy when you're not happy. And that's just human nature. So you have to learn that positive mindset. And a great thing that I shared with my team is when something bad happens to you, when you have something bad happen through the day, you need to stop for a minute and say, this is good because. And I promise you, if you stop for 5 minutes and think about the situation and say, this is good because, you will figure out a reason that this could be a positive instead of a negative. But it's so important to have that mindset in all things. If you can turn anything into a positive, then your outlook is brighter, your day is brighter, and your life will change. And I like how Alicia, when she was talking about tracking things, I love tracking things. I love keeping track of numbers and stuff, but guys, don't get obsessed with this. So often I'll see people spend 4 hours in their back office calculating things. Set a time limit. If you're going to go in your back office and look at your numbers and figure all this stuff out, set a time limit. Okay, I have 15 minutes to do this or 10 minutes to do this, and then stop and do something else. Don't let that take over your entire day. And I watched a video from Amy Darling yesterday, and it was absolutely fantastic. I shared it with my team, but she briefly touched on something and actually made a video for my team yesterday about it. And I won't go into too much detail, but it talks about whether you're a thermometer or a thermostat. And I love that. When you have a team, are you a thermometer where you're just kind of up in everybody's business, right? But you know what everybody's doing, and you got everybody's temperature, and you're kind of reading everything? Or are you the thermostat for your team? Are you the one that decides we're on a low, because you're going to take what's going, you know, any issues you have and be negative about them and make sure everybody knows that there's issues? Or are you going to take that team on a high? Are you going to be positive? Are you going to be the highest recruiter on your team? Are you going to have the highest PV? Are you going to be asking your team to do things that you are already doing and going above and beyond? So ask yourself that. If you have a team, Or if you're planning to have a team, do you want to be the thermometer or do you want to be the thermostat? Do you want to set that for your team? You know, like Alicia said, like Carrie said, we set the pace for our team. We are the ones that dictate where our team is. At any given time, I can tell you on my team, my strong active leaders have strong active teams. I don't care what the rest of everybody else in this business is doing at that moment. Their team is strong and active. And the other leaders that are the thermostats that are kind of like, well, what about this? And let's wait till this issue is resolved. Their teams are stalled. So be that thermostat, set that pace for your team, and it will make a world of a difference with a positive mindset. All right, do you want to move on to D now?
Yeah, but I have one more thing on A.
Okay.
Accountability. I love this. She said, do not negotiate with your goal-destroying terrorists. And those are your excuses. So, you know, your accountability to yourself, right? You've got goal-destroying terrorists, which was pretty funny the way she was describing it. But they're really just, they're excuses that come on and, you know, I've got this excuse why I can't do this. I've got this excuse why I can't do that. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Why put off tomorrow, which you can do today, right? You need to make sure that you're accountable to yourself. Your responsibility is huge if you're going to be the CEO of your business. And you want to have the language of a leader and be responsible for the outcome. So get you a Maui mate, be accountable, make sure that you're doing your phone activity, make sure that you know how many no's it takes to get a yes. I just posted a video about this, I think last week in our group. So anyway, make your list of 3 things you want to get done by noon. And now we're ready for D.
D, deadlines. All right, we all have deadlines, right? Who is like me and will wait until the 11th hour and rush and rush and rush and get it done and is great under pressure? Yes, but you can't do that in this business, right? You can't wait until July 15th of 2017 and say, hey, I want to go to Maui this year, so I'm going to work really hard for 2 weeks. This is a business you have to plan for. So you need to define what needs to happen in your business. You know, every year when we go on the Hawaii trip, there are so many team members that say, I'm going to be there next year. They claim it. They want their name written in the sand. They want, they plan, you know, to go. They hang something in their office. But I had some of these people contact me and I said, let me know what your points are. So I took and made a chart for them. And we did 1,500 points, June 30th, 2017. Why? Because we need that grace month, right? In case anything happens, in case they don't reach those other milestones, which we are huge in our team on milestone months. Whether it's promotion month or not, you better be working for something. And we call these milestone months. So we set their milestone months between now and June 13th. And seeing it on paper, seeing what they need to accomplish is eye-opening. If somebody has 30 points right now and they expect to have 15 by June, to see what they have to do to get from point A to point B really opens their eyes and helps them and their team understand what needs to happen. So guys, I highly recommend if you have a goal like that, whether it's Hawaii or whether it's being Emerald by this time next year or whatever it is, set it, write it down, set your goals, do your milestone months, and look at your numbers. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's really not. Even when I took somebody who currently had 30 points and did them out for 1,500 by June, it wasn't crazy overwhelming because as your team grows, you grow faster. Your momentum comes on stronger. So you don't have to start out right away super crazy. You need to work with your monthly goals to get yourself to the end, right? That's what accumulates. The small goals, the daily goals, the weekly goals, the monthly goals, the quarterly goals, that turns into your yearly goal and your overall goal. So, you know, set those small manageable goals, work your way backwards from your big goal. And that's what's gonna help you accomplish that. Declare your goal. Guys, I think every single one of you needs to go to your strongest upline leader. And not necessarily your upline, because a lot of us have, you know, an upline that started 3 days before we did and they're in the same boat, or maybe your upline is inactive. So go to your strong upline leader and say, this is my goal. This is what I plan to do to achieve it. And I would like for you to check in with me, or I would like to check in with you each month, each week, each quarter, whatever it is. Have somebody hold you accountable. I will tell you, everybody in this business that likes to be held accountable, that wants somebody to know what they're doing is way more successful than the people that don't want everybody to know what they're doing in their business. And, you know, there are months that I'm like, oh, I only recruited 2 people. I really don't want people to know. I don't want anybody to know I only recruited 2 people when my goal was 5. But we're all going to have those months, and it's okay. You know, you set your goals, you set your own pace, and this business, some months are crazy great, and some months are a little bit not as busy. So set your goals and be accountable to somebody, you know, get a running buddy to do this with you. It's great to have somebody that's at the same level, working for the same thing, that you can check in with on a daily basis, that you can share ideas with and really learn and grow with. And sometimes you outgrow these people and you have to find another one, but continually grow and work your business and really make somebody hold you accountable, because it's like going to the gym every day, right? If you're meeting a friend there, you're much more likely to show up than if it's just you and you're like, oh, it's raining outside and it's cold and nobody's going to notice if I'm not there. So if you have an accountability partner, it makes a huge difference, which then leads us into discipline, right? You have to be responsible for what you do. And like Alicia said, I also teach on knowing your ratio, which is how many people you have to talk to get a new customer or a new ambassador. If your ratio is 10 to 1 and you want 3 new customers this month, then you need to talk to 30 people. That's at least 1 person a day. Are you doing that? You know, if you're not, then you really don't want it. I remember a story a long time ago. A friend, and this was way before Plexus, a friend and I were out with our spouses, and there was this girl, she was a bodybuilder. She looked amazing. And I said, at least to my friend, I'm like, oh, I want to look like that. She's like, I do too. And then I looked at her and I said, you know what? We really don't, because if we did, we could. It's attainable for anybody, right? Anybody can do that, but you have to have the discipline. And I wasn't willing to do that. I wasn't willing to eat what she ate and work out like she worked out. So I really didn't want that. So ask yourself, when you set these goals and decide on how you're going to hold yourself accountable, do you really want that? Are you going to have the discipline to make it happen? Are you going to decide and declare this for yourself? Are you going to be the one that makes it happen? Do you want it more than you're going to give into the distractions? It's all in your hands when you're in this business. We all start at the same place, same product, same comp plan, same ability, same resources. In fact, you guys now have some amazing resources that we didn't have when we started. We didn't have anything. I mean, I think Sarah Marble had about 4 videos and Sonia Daly had about 10. And that was it, guys.
That was it.
So, you know, and I know in Texas, they at least had some meetings. In Florida, we didn't have anything. My first ambassador training, we got together in my living room and watched a PowerPoint that Celeste had given me, and we kind of read it to each other. And we only did that because we knew we needed to get together. We knew we needed to start something. I didn't have a jewel there. I don't even know that I was a gold ambassador at the time. Probably not. You know, so many times people say, I want to host an ambassador training, but I need a jewel there, or I need a gym there, or I need somebody there. You don't. This is your business. You decide what you're going to do with it. You take that ball and run with it. You don't wait for somebody else to provide something for you. Everything is there for you, and you just need to take the action. But discipline, declare, divide, define.
Perfect.
Deadlines.
And I really don't have anything to add to that. Except that discipline will give you everything that you want, including freedom. And so, you know, if you're wanting freedom, whether it's time freedom, whether it's financial freedom, discipline will get you there. So I highly recommend it. Okay, we're going to end with our 2 S's that we wanted to share with you. And I'll start by doing the first S, which is sacrifice. And so oftentimes people think that they can get to Diamond, you know, how did you get there? You got there, when you joined, it was a good time or whatever. No, I sacrificed a lot. In fact, you know, I have 4 girls. I have a husband that travels at least 50% of the time. He still does. The thing, and I have 4 girls that do, or 3 girls that do sports. And that poor little one, she just gets drug around all the sports. But, you know, one day she'll have her day. But anyway, I sacrificed a lot, whether it was, I may have missed a couple of games. I may have missed a couple of practices. But if something was happening, if there was a corporate event here, if there was a meeting that I needed to go to, if there was, if I had already promised a dinner or a lunch with a potential, if I had something that I was doing, that came first because I was growing my business and I had a goal and I had a dream, and it was going to benefit my family. And so it may have stung a little to miss something, but guess what? Here we are 3 years later. Are they, still, Mom, remember when you missed this or you missed that? No. And it's okay that they are not the center of the universe, okay? They have learned that Mama is a successful CEO of her business, that I can grow a business, I can still be mom, I can still do all of the important things for them that I need to, but I also have other obligations, and sometimes I miss things. Leaders Retreat is the same weekend that my oldest daughter has a tournament in Orlando. Last year, I took the whole family. We went to Orlando and we did that. This year, I can't do that. It's during Leaders Retreat. I have a commitment. I have a bunch of team members going. I'm hoping to see a lot of you there. And it's here in my town. It's here close to about 20 minutes from my house. I have a commitment. I'm going to miss Orlando. It's going to be okay. She knows that I went last year. She knows that we're going to do other things together. It's sacrifice. I also sacrificed. I gave up TV. That new show, what's it called? This Is Us. Everybody's talking about it and saying how great it is, and I can't wait to watch it. And it's DVR'd, and one of these days I'm going to have time. But right now, my extra time goes to working my business because it's around my family's priorities, right? So I sacrificed TV, and y'all really don't miss it. But in the beginning, what did I do? I watched the Sonia Marvel videos, and I watched the Sonia Dudley videos, and I learned as much as I could about our products and our ingredients and all that kind of stuff in the beginning because that's what I felt like I needed. So that's what I watched before going to bed, and I sacrificed other things. So think about, if you're going to try to achieve what you want and get to your goals and get to success, what are you going to sacrifice to get there? And on that note, Hayley's going to finish us out with the last one.
Success. Yes. Success. This is the one Alicia just gave me, and I'm like, oh, we didn't talk about that. So I don't know where we're going with this, but yeah, I mean, you have to be ready for success. Guys, and I don't know if this is how Alicia expected this to go, but a lot of people are not successful in this business because they have a fear of failing and a fear of being successful. If you have not read the book, oh my God, I usually have like 4 on my desk because I mail them out to my team all the time. Go for No. Super short, super easy read. I did it in like a day. It talks about how failing is a part of business, and if you are not failing, you cannot be successful. You should be hearing no every single day. And guys, I don't know how many of you were at convention when Rita stood up there and said, congratulations to all of you right down here in the special seating. You failed more than anybody else in this auditorium. You've heard no more than anybody else in this auditorium, and that's true. A lot of times our team members think, oh, they have it so easy. They're a diamond. They can say, oh, look at my money and look at my car and look at my crazy team. I know you want to join me. And people are like, oh, yeah, I do. No. If you knew the amount of no's I get each and every day, you would feel bad for me. You would seriously cry for me a lot of the time. So understand that failing is part of this business. And if you aren't hearing no, and you aren't failing, and you aren't like, oh my gosh, another no, then you're not going to be successful. It's okay. That's part of it, because that's how you reach those people that want to be where you are, that want to be on this journey with you, and that will do this and will be committed with you. Not everybody's going to do this. And guys, I have people that I see amazing potential in, I have an amazing vision for, and they want absolutely nothing to do with this business. There are just so many things that you need to be accepting of when it comes to failing. You need to know that it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be told no. Honestly, I wish I could give out an award every single month on my team for the person who had the most no's, for the person who contacted the most people and got told no, or didn't get answered, or got a maybe, or whatever the excuse is that day. It's okay, and you have to learn to deal with that. And I think I never took it personally, and I think that's what helped me be successful. I kind of looked at it like, if I have my friend over and I'm making coffee, which I don't even drink, but I do have one I drink at Starbucks, right? So I have this one coffee that I like, and if I had my friend over and I said, hey, you want some of this coffee? And they're like, oh no, I don't like that coffee. I wouldn't be like, okay, well, you can't be my friend anymore, and you really hurt my feelings, and I think that you need to leave, and oh my gosh, I'm never talking to you again, right? I'd be like, all right, no big deal. You want some water? That's how we need to look at our Plexus business. If they don't like our coffee, if they don't like what we have, then poor pitiful them, because I enjoy it, right? It changed my life. It makes me happy. And I mean Plexus, not coffee. That, you know, I have a gift that I'm trying to offer to you. And if you don't want it, too bad, so sad. You'll eventually hopefully see it. And if not, I did my part by offering it to you. I offered you the financial freedom that I have, and I offered you the health that I have. And if you don't take it, that's your decision. But don't take that personally. They're not turning you down. They're turning down the product for whatever reason, for whatever has come into their mind about the business opportunity or the products or everything. You can't, it's a good thing not everybody does this business, and you can't make everybody happy, right? So don't take it personally. It's okay to fail. You need to be prepared for success and work toward that. And have a positive mindset that you can be successful in this business, because you can. Anybody can do it. I promise you. Anybody can do this. You just have to work on certain things to make it happen. How's that?
Hang on, I'm taking a picture of us real quick. Okay. On that note, your success, people don't have to be just like you. Okay, so your success might be measured one way, and somebody else's success might be measured another. Somebody might be trying to go to Fast Start Gold, and somebody else might be just trying to get to silver. So everybody's different, and just because somebody doesn't want to be just like you, or somebody might join my team that doesn't want to be a diamond, that's okay. You know, their goal is their goal, and there's all different kinds of success. But there you have it. Success is what you'll get when you do the whole BRADSS system. So I hope y'all took some great notes, and I'm so thankful Hayley jumped on and did this call with me, and I'm just thankful for this entire team, and I pray for y'all daily, and I hope that you took away some nuggets today that will help grow your business, and I can't wait to see how it plans out for you. So anyway, love that you're here, and we will do some more Lunch and Learn soon. Thanks for hanging in with us.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.